Okay, shalom everybody. And Shavua Tov, and we should hear good news, Bezat Hashem, Bekarov, with everything happening in the world, and there's a lot of excitement. The halacha says, Mishenichnas Av, Mema'atin Besimcha. As Av enters, the wording of the sages, the wording of the code of Jewish law is Mema'atin. We diminish Besimcha. We diminish in joy, meaning we're forced to diminish activity that brings on simcha, and by the diminishment, there's less simcha. For example, the inyan of showering, washing laundry, weddings already, some start from Yud Zayin B'Tammuz, music, buying a new house, buying new furniture, buying new things, new stuff that make you very happy. Shechianu v'chule, all that is diminished, okay? That's the simple meaning. So, in the Hasidic teachings, they explain like this: Mema'atin, we diminish activity, refraining from being happy, in order to come to true simcha. Mema'atin besimcha, which is why, for example, Tu B'Av takes place after Tisha B'Av, and Tu B'Av is considered one of the happiest days of the year, and it's because it's a result of, it's a result of the simcha of, it's a result of the mourning and the diminishment of joy leading up to Tisha B'Av. That's what enables us to be happy in life. Because the trick is in life, if you don't experience challenges and setbacks that can bring to sorrow, and you don't deal with them, you can never come to true joy. True joy is experienced specifically by going through challenges in life. If you think I'll come to happy and everything's Sesame Street and everything's nice and fine and dandy, and it's just like that always, forget it. It doesn't work like that. The only way to true joy is that you have to be challenged. You have to be put to the test. That's the true simcha in life. Okay? That's how it is for everything. I remember Ari Kaplan, he wrote a book called Made in Heaven on marriage. An amazing, one of the most amazing books on marriage is Ari Kaplan's book Made in Heaven. So in his introduction, he writes that he was once sitting at a Sheva Brachas, and there was an old couple at the table, and the husband, this older man, like in his 60s, 70s, whatever, him and his wife were looking at the Chatan and Kala. You know how they're always giggling, when you just get married, everyone's laughing at each other. That's how it is normally when they get married, laughing in this. So the older husband told Rai Kaplan, look at them. They think that's true simcha. That's not true simcha. True simcha is like me and my wife that were married over 50 years and we still are getting along. That's true marriage. That's true simcha. That's the true thing. The idea is that you've passed through the challenges and you're still here. And you're still holding on. And this is how it is in life. The only way to experience true simcha is by being challenged from the opposite. And by holding on. And even if you fall, but you keep on going. Okay? We're going to hopefully go into this, what Reb Noson says about this, but this is so pertinent to Tisha B'Av. Most people, they dread the 3 weeks. They dread Tisha B'Av. They dread the week of Tisha B'Av in the morning and everything. Why? Because already life as it is already sad. So what does it help to add more sadness to my being sad? So the truth is, it's dafka, this extra dosage of challenges that make you squeezed is what brings you to true joy, which is why Tu B'Av is after Tisha B'Av, like we said. And it's because of Tisha B'Av. It's because of the 9 days and the 3 weeks that we come to a happy day called Tu B'Av. Tu B'Av is meant for a person to have breakthroughs. It's now beginning, it's 45 days before Rosh Hashanah, Tu B'Av. It's like the preparation for the new year and getting things on the right foot. They say, if you take a look, there's 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks before Rosh Hashanah from the beginning of the 3 weeks. The 3 weeks, starting Yud Zayin B'Tammuz, begin the 10-week preparation before the new year. People think the new year starts, Rosh Chodesh Elul is the preparation. Really, it starts already on Yud Zayin B'Tammuz. There's exactly 10 weeks. 3 weeks of the 3 weeks, ending on Tisha B'Av, and then from there another 7 weeks leading up to Rosh Hashanah. So it's 7, 8, 9, 10. These 10 weeks are technically a preparation for the new year. We're signing off of the old year, getting ready to enter the new year, and it starts with a mourning period, because at the setback, the year, it's called the Yerida Litzorech Aliyah, the Yerida, the descent, which is preparing for Bezrat Hashem, the ascent. Okay, so where the people normally they dread this period, but they don't realize that this is the preparation now for the upcoming good. How you take it in a positive way? How do you take Tisha B'Av and the 3 weeks and these 9 days in a positive way? Right now, I can't be happy. I can't be happy with the present. There's no showers, there's no music, there's no this, there's no meat. You took away everything that makes me feel comfortable and make me feel happy. So I can't be happy technically about the present on a physical level. So what can I do? I can be happy about the future. That in the end, it's going to work out. Now I'm mourning. I'm mourning now, but I know that in the end, it's going to work out. It's now tapping in to the simcha of the future. As mema'atin, again, the wording of Chazal, the wording of the Shulchan Aruch, Mishenichnas av mema'atin besimcha, mema'atin, I diminish from present reasons to be happy, besimcha, in order to come to tap into the ultimate simcha. I'm diminishing now, so it forces me to be happy about the future. That I know that in the end, Bayamahu Yasham Echad U'Shmo Echad, on that day, Hashem will be one, and His name will be one. Everything's going to work out. The evil will be punished and destroyed, and the good will be rewarded and virtued. Okay? So I want to be happy about Bezrat Hashem. That is the future. That is the future of the joy, that we use the present situation of mourning that forces us to tap into the future joy, Bezrat Hashem. All right? So with this in mind, we're going to continue Reb Noson's letter, and we finally get to the paragraph that I've been waiting to get to, because Reb Noson will finally open up into the discourse that he was writing at the time that he wrote this letter. And this discourse sheds light on such a positive attitude that a person must take. And he shows you how it's hinted to in such an amazing pasuk in the Torah. So he says like this, Reb Noson. Velo, and this is where we left off. We're letter 32, and in the second paragraph. He says like this, Reb Noson. Velo uchal להתאפק מעוצם אהבתך, מלכתוב לך מעט ממה שאמרתי בשבת קודש העבר. Reb Noson tells the son of YItzchak, and I cannot hold myself back. I cannot refrain because of my tremendous love for you, my son Reb YItzchak, to write to you a little bit about what I discussed on this past Shabbat. And again, this is Wednesday. And he had already written to him a letter on Sunday, but only this letter, it looks like because he got the money for the loan. You remember the letter started off that he asked a loan from his son. And it looks like he got the money to help him with the loan. And he's a bit more calm, Reb Noson. So we see that his being calm was able to open him up, and only at this letter on Wednesday is he finally telling him what happened on Shabbat. He could have told him on Sunday, but no, only this letter. And he says, because of my love to you, I cannot refrain telling you what I spoke about this past Shabbos, which was Parshat Toldot. Okay? Sorry, it's Parshat VaEra. This is HaEzer, so VaEra. So he writes like this. Tamtzit ha'inyan, in short, what I spoke about, the condensed version of what I spoke about, Merumaz b'pasuk is hinted to in the following verse, Bereshit, chapter 18, verse 1. It's the opening of Parshat VaEra. Okay? The Parsha starts off, right? That VaYera elav Hashem, that Hashem appeared to Avram. It was right after the end of Parshat Lech Lecha. Avraham Avinu did circumcision on himself and on his son Yishmael. So Avraham Avinu was on the third day after the circumcision, and he was in tremendous pain, and he was fixing his bandages from after the circumcision, and at the same time he was sitting at the entrance of his tent. We know the famous Rashi. That is that what was Avraham Avinu doing outside? You're sick. You just got a circumcision. You're bleeding. You're in pain. Go rest. So he was out looking for guests. The famous Chazal that we all know. He was looking for guests to bring them in, and Hashem felt bad for him. So he tried to convince him to go indoors. So Hashem made it that the sun was very hot that day, so the guests shouldn't come, and Avraham Avinu should see that there's no guests and go back in the house. Avraham Avinu refused to leave because perhaps a guest might come by. So even though the heat of the sun was so intense, he still sat there. And Hashem had, on the simple level, he had a pity on Avraham Avinu, and he sent him his 3 angels to come disguised as Arab travelers, Arab merchants traveling, and in order to appease Avraham Avinu so he can run to invite them into his house. That's the pshat. Okay? Look how Reb Noson opens up this verse on a totally different dimension. He says, in short, condensed format of what I spoke about is hinted to in this pasuk, where it says there, the opening verse, Vehu Yoshev Petach HaOhel Kechom Hayom. And he, Avraham Avinu, who just after had the circumcision, like we said, was sitting at the entrance of the tent in Kechom, in the heat. And we understand it, Kechom Hayom, according to the heat of the day. The ke is really funny in the simple translation. What does it mean ke? As according to. It doesn't make sense. But the translation given by Rashi is in the heat of the day, and yet he's sitting at the entrance for a good cause, a good reason. He's looking for guests, right? So Reb Noson says, one second. If now his whole thing was to look for guests, why does the pasuk tell us at the entrance of the tent? It's enough to say that Avraham Avinu was outside of his tent. We don't have to know where. He's outside looking for guests. We don't need the precision of the verse to say he was at the entrance of the tent. I don't need that point. If you're trying to tell me that it's to look for guests, it's enough that he's outside. The verse should say, and he was outside of his tent. Why does the verse stress the words at the entrance of the tent? That's not needed for guests. The point is, he's outside of his tent looking for guests. I got the point. But the fact that you added the entrance of the tent, the petach, it comes to teach something else. So Reb Noson first looks at the word Yoshev. What is Yoshev? And he was sitting at the entrance of the tent. The normal translation of Yoshev is to sit. Reb Noson points out, Yoshev, in the words of the Torah, also means to wait. Watch. Yoshev petach ha'ohel kechom hayom. Yoshev leshon hamtana ve'akava zman rav. Yoshev also connotes that a person is waiting and delayed for a long, long time. The Torah uses this term, leshev, to indicate that someone is like waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. You're waiting for the flight, it's delayed, and you're waiting and you're waiting and you're going nuts. You're about to blow up, you're about to pop. And the Torah uses this word of Yoshev. Kumo, where's the proof? Like another verse, a verse in Dvarim, chapter 1, verse 46. Okay, this is I think from Parshat Dvarim, this week's Parsha. Vateshvu bekadesh yamim rabim. It says, and the Jews, Rashi learns out that the equivalent time that they spent in the desert was 38 years. So it's 16, 17, it was 18, could it be 18 years? They did half the time in Kadesh and half the time traveling. In other words, don't think that all 40 years the Jews were in the desert, that they were always just moving and moving and moving. Rashi points out in the Parsha that they spend most of the time moving in the first 2 years when getting to Har Sinai, and then the beginning part of after the sin of the golden calf. But that's it. They spend now another 18 years in Kadesh, and that's what the verse says. Vateshvu, and you were delayed and waiting to get into Israel, the Holy Land, until the 40 years reaches, and all those who were deemed to die in the desert would die for 40 years. Okay? That the one who was 20 at the time of the golden calf and the pagam of the Meraglim will reach the age of 60, and then he'll pass away, right? That's half the year. That's 60 years, correct, right? 40 years plus 20, 60 years old, right? So they had to wait. They were kept and delayed in Kadesh, Yamim Rabbi, many days. So the word is Vateshvu. Teshvu is like this pasuk here. V'hu Yoshev. He's sitting at the entrance of the tent. So Yoshev, Teshvu, Reb Noson says, here we can interpret it as not just like Avraham Avinu was sitting, but Avraham Avinu was waiting and delayed. That's how he's interpreting the word Yoshev. Let's see what Reb Noson is going to say. Okay, what's next? Hainu, in other words, she'en ha'adam zoche l'hitgalut elokut Bechinat vayera elav Hashem. In other words, that a person, a man, does not merit to a revelation of godliness in life. To have a revelation of God in your life, which is the concept of what it says in the opening of the verse in Parshat VaEra. Vayera elav Hashem. Vayera elav Hashem translates as, and Hashem appeared to him. Vayera, he made himself visible to Avraham Avinu. In our context, Reb Noson is explaining that he had a revelation of God. That Hashem comes to reveal himself. First of all, why did Hashem come to reveal himself? Because he came to console him for the pain. He came to Hashem came to do the mitzvah of Bikur Cholim. That's what Rashi says. Avraham Avinu was sick. He was in pain from the Brit Milah. So Hashem, to teach us the law, the mitzvah of visiting the sick, so Hashem himself did that. Vayera elav Hashem, that Hashem came to Avraham Avinu to try to console the person who's in pain. Okay? But the wording, Reb Noson says, the Torah didn't have to use the word Vayera. And could say, and Hashem came. Vayavo elav Hashem. Use another term. Why Vayera? Which means appearing. So Reb Noson says it can also mean a revelation. To see a revelation. So Reb Noson is interpreting it like this. That Avraham Avinu had a revelation of God. In order to have a revelation of God like Avraham Avinu did, you have to wait a long time. Watch. Ki'im al yidei sheyoshev umamtin umitakev etzel apetach ohel diktusha zman rav. Unbelievable. In order for a person to have finally a revelation of God, you have those people, like the Christians. Oh, God appeared to me. I saw the Lord. Those guys. So, but on a Jewish version, where yes, like you feel Hashem is talking to you directly. Okay? It doesn't come by itself. It comes with a lot of waiting and davening for Hashem to show a clear message to that person. Whether it's Hashem's love for the person, whether it's for the person not to give up because he's on the right track, or whether it's finally for a solution in life, what to do for the crazy thing I'm going through 20, 30, 40 years, and I didn't give up, and I'm waiting for an advice, counsel, what to do, because everything's just not working out. What to do, Hashem, to get out of this rut that I'm stuck in for so long. So for that to finally happen, that's Vayera elav Hashem, you have to wait a lot. So he says, Reb Noson, the only way for this to come to a person is only through that a person, he waits. He doesn't give up. He doesn't look for quick fixes, for quick solutions. He runs and jumps for everything. And then he's so burnt out because every time he tried it and it didn't work out, all the failures got him burnt out. That's it. I have no koach to try anything else. I wasted all my energy because the person's always jumping on quick things. God forbid. Okay? So the only way to have the revelation is through that a person sits and waits. Look at that. Yoshev, umamtin, umitakev. He sits and he waits. And he's delayed. He's delayed because he feels he can be elsewhere in life. And he's stuck. He sees other people who have made it. And he's like left behind. So he feels delayed. Other people, in my eyes, they seem to be advancing in these areas. Why am I stuck? What did I do wrong, Hashem? And yet the person didn't give up. He's not upset at Hashem. He's saying, okay, I know you're testing me. You're testing me and testing me and testing me. So I'm sitting, like Avraham Avinu. He's sitting and waiting and delaying, and now we understand the word why it says that the entrance. Etzel petach oil kedusha zman rav. The only way for Hashem to reveal himself to a person is that he sits and waits and is delayed by the entrance to the tent of holiness. You hear that? Ohel is on the pshat is the entrance of Avraham Avinu's tent, but on the symbolic level, it's the entrance. I'm trying to get in, and they're not letting me in. They're not letting me in. I'm trying, I'm waiting, I'm davening days, weeks, months, years, and I feel I'm not getting anywhere. And the HaEzer is telling me, just give up already. Just drop it already. You're never going to make it anyways. Just drop, chas v'shalom. The person says, no, there's no other alternative. There's or this or nothing. You guys want me to just drop it? Why? What do you have better to offer? Just this world? Oh, but anyways you're not making it, so why not? Like the expression says, achol v'shato, just keep on eating and drinking because anyways you're going to die tomorrow. It's an expression in the Torah. So the person who's honest and sincere and was given guidelines on the weapons of how to be a Jew in his starting, if it was in yeshiva, a seminar, or about tshuva in the beginning, so they give him the weapons. And then the challenges feel like, Hashem, they feel like so unbearable, unbelievable, not fair. So the test here is, do you give in? And Yitzchak is nagging, just drop it already, drop it. Stop trying to daven with kavanah, because it's never going to happen. Stop trying to lose weight, because it's never going to happen. Stop trying to work on your midot and your anger, you're just going to be lost. And you get older and older, and you feel like you're, Tetris, the game Tetris. How Tetris works, if you don't manage early enough to fill in the blocks, so then it goes up and up, and then you lose the game. So the person begins to think, if now I'm younger, and I'm not filling in the gaps, so all the more so when I get older, 50, 60, I'm stuck now. I'm a victim of my hergel, my accustoming myself to negative traits. I've been accustomed already. I'm so used to it. And Yetzirah has me in his palm, right? So the Yetzirah is saying that, look, I have you in my hand. You're never going to change. You're old already. You're an old, an old fart. So you're never going to get better. You're never going to change. So the person who's stubborn in his Yiddishkeit, he says, even though it seems you have me, even though I've wasted all my life, I've never said brachot properly, I've never davened properly, I'm never really in tune, I want to be, but it's not happening, and the days turn into weeks, into months, into years, and I haven't changed at all, still, I'm waiting here. I didn't budge. I'm waiting at the entrance of the tent. That's what he's saying. V'hu yoshev petach ha'oel. He's waiting for them to open the doors. I don't care. It can take 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. I'm here. I'm waiting by the tent until they open the door for me and I get in. There's that amazing story of the Rekanti. The Rekanti was a Kabbalistic, it was a Kabbalist, and he wrote a commentary on the Torah based on the Kabbalah at age 85 or 95. He started writing at age 85 or 95. It's a known story. What was his story? When he was about 5 or 10 years old, he was in Italy. He saw in the HaEzer that his brain he had like a very thick head, and he couldn't learn like the other kids were learning Chumash and reading and math and basics of life and basics of Judaism. He saw that he had a thick head. So he davened straight for about 70 years that Hashem should open up his mind to the Torah. 70 years. So from the age of 5 plus 75 or 85, from the age of, I don't know exactly the details of the years, but it was at least 70 years. He davened, he didn't give up. And he told over the story that one day at the age of 75 or 80, 85, someone, or Avraham Avinu or Eliyahu Navi, came with a cup of water. He said, drink, in his dream, drink the water. He drank it. He says, wake up now. He woke up and he opened the Chumash and everything was opened up. Everything. He started seeing all the secrets of the Torah and the Psukim, and that's the Rekanti. This unbelievable commentary called Rekanti. Unbelievable, huh? So the Rekanti, he's an example of someone who waits and waits. He's 70 years, he waited, and they finally opened up the doors. That's unbelievable Musar, you have to wait. That's how it is in life. Things don't come immediately, and you begin to say, how come they got it? How come they're happy? And now they have Yiddish and Aches and this, and here I'm suffering, and this, and boom, boom, boom. You begin to feel bad. You don't want to look at other people, but you're in pain. Especially people who don't have kids, it's the hardest. Oh my God, that's a killer. They see friends from class, they already have 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids, and you hear that we're married 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, no children. You know how bad they feel, how miserable, but they keep on davening and keep on davening. And people telling them, why are you saying that? Yes, just telling the person, why daven? You're just wasting your time. You're not getting anywhere. Anyway, it's not going to happen. Just adopt a child or something, whatever. All types of mishugas ideas to make them stop davening, stop yearning. So that's the thing. You have to wait for salvation to come, where a person. In other words, the salvation of the area that a person needs to work on in life, like the HaEzer teaches. The HaEzer says, how do you know why Hashem sent you back in reincarnation? How do you know what you came to fix? I have so many things in the Torah. What's my mission? I can pick tzedakah, gemilut chasadim, I can mashkia in Torah study, in Gemara, in Chumash, in davening, in Tehillim, and getting up at midnight, in Shabbos observance. What's my thing? So the HaEzer says, whatever is the most difficult for you to do, that's why you came back to this world. If a person has a very bad temper, he's very angry, so he can know that that's why he came back to this world, to work on that. Person has a problem with eating habits, that's why he came back, to work on tavat achila. Whatever is difficult, that's why you came back. So if I have difficulties in having things happen in my life, that's what I have to work on. So then what I have to do, that's why I have to wait and daven, and not to say, so it's not for me. Most people, they give in. They say it's not for me. If it's so difficult, why waste my time on this? The HaEzer says just the opposite. What is difficult for you, that's what you have to work on. The question is how you work on it. How do you get things moving, Bezat Hashem? So Reb Noson is saying here, you got to be stubborn. You got to be a warrior. There's nothing to do. Hashem is forcing you to be a warrior in this area. You can chicken out and say, I'll go somewhere else, convenience, what's easy and convenient. Or you can say, this is my mission, so I got to work on this. And it's tough. But why would I want to live a fake life? Not running away from when I was sent back, and then having to risk that when I leave this world, they say you have to come back again because you didn't fix it in this lifetime, so you have to come back again. Do I need that? Do I need that garbage to come back again after the challenge of this world, chas v'shalom? So instead of that, to make the strong decision, no, this is my mission. I got to work on this. I got to do my best to work on this area. So this is look how Reb Noson develops this unbelievably. So Yoshev, again, just reading it again. Yoshev l'shon hamtana va'akava zman rav kmo v'teshu v'kadesh yamim rabim. Hainu she'ein ha'adam zoche lidgalut elokut bechinat vayera lev Hashem ki im al yidei sheyoshev u'mamtin u'mitakev etzel petach oel ha'kedusha zman rav v'af al pi shebetoch kach over alav ma shover. Reb Noson says, and even though, right, in the meantime, you go through in life what you go through. The person goes through what they go through in life, the crazy things of life. And he goes on, even Reb Noson. Because what did the verse say? The verse said, and Avram was sitting at the tent of the entrance to the tent, kechom hayom, in the heat of the day. Which Rashi Pshat is, Hashem made it extra hot so that no guests should come. But at the same time, Avraham Avinu was determined for achnasat orchim, so he got more reward. He got more reward that Hashem is making it. See, Hashem, when He does one thing, it's not for one reason. It's for like a million reasons. So one reason is that there should be no guest. Second reason, if Avraham Avinu does it, he'll get more reward. So Reb Noson now, he's using the words also. Kechom hayom means I'm being heated up. It's not just I'm just waiting and nothing's happening. I'm waiting, and at the same time, I'm being tempted by the Yetzirah. He wants to kill me. He wants to kill me, chas v'shalom. Okay? ואף על פי שבתוך כך עובר עליו מה שעובר, וחמימות היום, שם כלל התאוות בוער אותו הרבה, and the heat, like the sun, the heat of the sun, כחום היום, the pasuk says, right? And the heat of the day. What does it mean, the heat of the day? The challenges that tempt a person within the day, because the day is the unit that a person is challenged within. The sun shines in the day. Person is tested with many sexual transgressions in the day, in his life. The day is the unit where it takes place in. So the chamimut hayom, his translation kechom hayom, the heating of the temptations and tribulations in the day, which refer to klal ha'ta'avot, all of the desires and lusts that a person have to fall off the path, to not follow the ways of Hashem, to do the things that he knows is wrong, but he can't help himself because he's being burnt up. And it's bo'er oto harbe. They're heating him up and killing him. Literally heating him up a lot. So he's waiting, he's sitting, he's waiting, and he's being delayed. And in the meantime, Yetzirah is doing his job to heat up the person. Af al pichen, hu eno maniach et mikomo chas v'shalom. Nevertheless, the person doesn't leave his spot, chas v'shalom. What this means is even if, God forbid, a person does fall, he does fall into the temptations, and then we know Yetzirah is worse after falling than before falling. Because Yetzirah says, you fell already. Just give up already. The Amalek, the Rashi says, Amalek is so bad. He's the one, Amalek is also the spiritual force in heaven, who's the prosecuting angel. He's also called Amalek. He's the one who tempts a person to fall. And then after the person falls, he pushes him to give up, and then he goes up to heaven to prosecute. This person doesn't deserve Olam Haba because the person fell into the trap and also listened to him to give up. It's an amazing thing in life. A person can sin, but if he didn't give up, so the Yetzirah has no say in the matter. This is something people don't know about. When does the Yetzirah have a say to affect punishment in heaven? If he fell, and then he also gave up. He listened to the Yetzirah that there's no more hope, and then he willingly kept the fall. So then in heaven they say, okay, because you have Yeush, so it's stamped that you have to be punished, purged. But if a person now, he did fall, But he didn't give up. He keeps on telling Hashem, not just on Yom Kippur, he said, Hashem, I've sinned, I've transgressed, but I don't want to be like this. I want to be a good Jew. And he keeps on getting a retort. And even good people say, but you're so bad, what does it help? You're asking forgiveness and regret. You keep on sinning. You're a continuous sinner. Even in such a case, Reb Noson goes into this very deep on the power of tshuva, that if a person is so determined to feel regret and to make it, express it in words to Hashem, I don't want to be like this. I hate this, Hashem. I hate the way I am. I don't want to be a robber. I don't want to be a thief. I don't want to be a murderer. I don't want to be chas shalom, a molester and stuff like that, chas shalom. And I don't want to be like this. And the person keeps on falling in these terrible things, but he at the same time, he gives a smack, he gives a retort, so the punishment is kept on the side. Unbelievable. That's how powerful the not giving up in life is. That's why Reb Noson is saying this is the most important thing that a person has to hold on to, is not to give up, which is like, if you remember, we said this, Rabbi Nachman, before he passed away, on Shabbat Nachamu, before he passed away, unbelievable. Look at the next Shabbos. It's like we're talking about the thing as it's happening. On Shabbat Nachamu, in the year 1810, Rabbi Nachman was in Uman, and he gave one of his most powerful lessons. At the end of the lesson, he said, like in Yiddish, Gewalt. I don't know how he said it. He's 38 years old when he passed away. It's like an old guy, but he was sick with tuberculosis. So he let out a long, krechts, like a moan, but with the words Gewalt. There was no such thing as despair. And Reb Noson, and everyone, when they heard this, they started to cry, because he made each one feel that this was exactly said to him. And Reb Noson says the message is an eternal message until Mashiach comes. No matter how low you're going to fall in life, which is happening today like crazy, the most religious Jews will admit that they keep on falling in tiny things as daily, and people feel out of it. And the test is, just drop it, stop with the yearning to be good. So he said on those feelings, don't despair, don't give up. Don't say, well, anyways, the generation's like this, anyways, everybody's like this, anyways, everybody talks in shul, like that. So he said on that, don't give up. Be the unique one. Yes, if it's only you, so that's you. You're the unique one. You're the one who's not giving. Everyone else gave up. Okay. 99% gave up, and you're the 1%. It's you. 99.999% gave up, and you're the 0.001% that didn't. So it's you. Don't say, well, if everyone's like that, so I might as well also be like that. No. Okay? This is crazy stuff what he's saying here. This is probably one of the most powerful paragraphs in all of Reb Noson's Likutey Halakhot. It's 8 volumes, about 3,000 pages, at least 3,500 pages on how to be a Jew. And this discourse that Reb Noson wrote is like one of the most powerful ones on the message here of how you got to be so stubborn. There's ups and downs, okay. And you against your will, you're falling. You don't want to fall. And it happens, you fall into temptation, there's a good cookie there, and you don't want to eat, you're trying not to eat, you have high blood sugar, you have high this, that, and you eat, okay? And it happens again and again and again. And you just forget it. You're never going to make it. Your tongue, it's just trying to convince you that's the truth. But the reality is, no, I'm not going to give in. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep on davening until they open up the tent of holiness for me and I get in. I just want to be a tzaddik. That's all I want, Hashem. All I want is to be a good person. He says, Reb Noson, one of his letters coming up, he said that he was traveling around Western Ukraine to try to find a way how to print Rabbi Nachman's writings. This is the year 1840. And he was in many cities, and everybody received him with such respect, and they were flipping out when they asked, can you give us some chidushim of Rabbi Nachman? And he was telling them over, and people almost lost their free will from the intensity, the emotional intensity of the amazing insights that he was revealing. So Reb Noson writes to his son and the followers in Eastern Ukraine, in mid-Ukraine, he said, you can almost see on people's expression how much they're suffering from their setbacks in life, and how much they want to be good Jews, but they don't know the gift of the advice that we received from Rabbi Nachman of just talking to Hashem, Hitbodedut. If they only knew about it and they would start using it, they would be in a much better position than they actually are. He said, everywhere I went, you see everyone's face is written with the yearning to become better, but they don't know how. And they have everything. They have the Torah, they have Gemara, they have Rebbeim, they have Yeshivas, but it's not happening. It's not moving. The bridge from potential to actual is blocked. It's not like 500 years ago where there was a different test. We have a major test now before Mashiach comes, and it's crazy. It's the test of Yeush, of just giving up and feeling, the word is apathy. Feeling apathetic to everything. Everything's laid back, just take it easy, and people are out of it. Okay, I'll daven, lip service, just do my obligation. But that's not Judaism. Judaism is to feel the connection, and people who are sincere, they want that. When you start off, Hashem gives you energy to experience it and to be aware of it. But then the tests of life, they start to chip at it, chip, and that's what he said, Reb Nachman, don't give up. Don't give up on your initial yearning. Hold on to it. Use the weapons that the tzaddikim reveal. The main one being hitbodedut, and like in this lesson, to be besimcha, to work on everything, to be positive, and not to allow the negative to make me depressed and worried and stressed, but rather to be positive. I see that the negative is attacking, so I should remember, this is Yetzer Hara. This is not reality. This Yetzer Hara using the situation to try to convince me that it's all sad and depressed. So what do? Put on some music. Okay, again, Tisha B'Av, it's hard, right? The 9 days. Tell some jokes, give thanks to Hashem, find the good points, think about the future that's going to work out in the end, B'ezrat Hashem. Okay? So this Reb Noson said, he saw people have it on their face, but they just don't know how to bridge it. But here is telling us, again, let's go back to the words here. שאין האדם זוכה להתגלות אלוקות בחינת וירא אל השם כי אם על ידי שיושב וממתין ומתעכב אצל פתח אוהל הקדושה זמן רב. Only by waiting and being delayed at the entrance of the tent of holiness a long time, and even though, like we said, שבתוך כך עובר עליו מה שעובר וחמימות היום שם כלל התאוות בוער אותו הרבה. The heating of the tavot is just heating up so like crazy, right? People fall, and people today fall big time. The transgressions that people are going through, when we hear about them, we go nuts. If we heard about such a thing 20, 30, 40 years ago, no one would have heard of such a thing. Today, it's like common. Every second person, every third person you speak to, they tell you what they're going through. You say, what? When I grew up, this never existed. And even no one spoke about it. It was hush hush. But here, it's crazy what's happening as the generations go further and further, that the Yetzer Hara is heating up people to crazy, crazy things. Nonetheless, even after all that, the person doesn't leave his spot. So again, just wanted to explain, a person can be pushed off by the Yetzer Hara, and then Yetzer Hara says, do you have any last words? And he says, yes, I'm still here. I'm not budging from the entrance, so you can take off. You don't want to give up? No, I'm here. But I show you that you're nothing and you're a nobody and you're not getting anywhere in your life. So don't you want to give up? No, even after everything against me and the odds are 1,000,000 to 1, I'm still here. I am not budging, because again, there's nothing else. There's no other option. What, Gehinam? If according to you I already have Gehinam, so why go for more Gehinam? Why? Like Rabbi Nachman once said, we said this once. Rabbi Nachman said, if a person's already eating pork, then don't let the gravy ooze down his beard. You shouldn't say, if I'm already eating pork, so already eat like an animal. If I'm already eating treif, so let me eat like an animal. No, Rabbi Nachman says, if you're already eating pork, then at least be decent. Don't let the gravy go down your beard. No, be clean, be immaculate, be normal. Don't say, if I'm bad, so I'm going down all the way. No. I'm holding whatever I can. I'm stuck by the entrance of the tent. I'm still here. But give up already. No, I'm here. Okay? אף על פי כן הוא אינו מניח את מקומו חס ושלום, רק הוא יושב וממתין ומתעכב אצל הפתח ימים וזמנים רבים. Unbelievable. Rather, the person is sitting and waiting and being delayed. He's going over these three terms. יושב, ממתין, מתעכב. By the entrance of the entrance of salvation, yamim uzmanim rabim, many days and many periods of time. And he's waiting and waiting and waiting. And that's the solution. To think, okay, it's not working out, I'll go elsewhere. It's not working out, I'll go elsewhere. You have to wait and wait. You're at the right address. You have to wait. Bechinat, like it says, the verse, V'hu yoshev petach ha'ohel kechom hayom. And he's waiting by the entrance of the tent according to the heat of the day. Even in the heat, it's unbelievable. It can be understood also that he's waiting commensurate to the heat. The more they heat him up, the person, the more he understands how important it is that he waits and gets into the petach. If I see that they're really attacking me in life, that must mean I'm on the right track. It's like I think, okay, if it's too impossible, then I must be on the wrong track. If now a person is trying to follow a proper, right, virtuous action of serving Hashem, of coming close to Hashem, and the Yetzer Hara makes it almost impossible, he's being attacked on an onslaught, so Kechomayom can mean also commensurate to how much they're heating you up. That's how much you should understand. It's how important it is for you to get in, and that's why they're attacking you. And all the more so, you should be strong to hold on. Reb Noson says in another place in the Likutey Halakhot, in his discourse Bikot HaShachar, discourse number 3, he says that when you see the Yetzer Hara is attacking you a lot, so you should say, I must be very special. If the Yetzer Hara is spending so much energy and time to bring me down, and he has the whole world, he has how many billion of people in the world, and little me, I'm a nobody, right? The Yetzer Hara is trying to tell me I'm a nobody. So if I'm such a nobody, why are you attacking me so much? So must be that I'm not a nobody. That I must be a somebody. If you, Yetzer Hara, spending so much time attacking me, I must be somebody special. It's exact opposite, reverse psychology of Yetzer Hara. He's trying to say, you'll never make it. This and that. Just drop it already, chas v'shalom. Just the opposite. Because you're attacking me, thank you so much, shkoyach Yetzer Hara. You show me how important I am. Thank you. If I'm not important, then leave me alone. If I'm really nobody, so what? What do you care about what I'm doing? What do you care? The fact that you do care and you're making it so hard for me. So I'm on the right track. I'm not moving. Okay, that's kechomayim, according to, commensurate to the heat of the day. Reb Noson finishes off like this: V'haven heitev, and understand this very well, my son. Haven heitev, understand this carefully. Ki ita, because he says now it goes further. Ki ita bidvarav zal, because it's brought down in Rabbi Nachman's holy teachings. This is Likutey Moharan, part 2, lesson 48. One of the most powerful lessons in Likutey Moharan. It's called in breslov circles the letter, HaEzer. Why? Because Rabbi Nachman is speaking to you personally. You feel the letter is so personal, because the whole lesson 48, part 2, is one big chunk of encouragement. And he says there, Shalif Amim Ha'adam Etzel HaPetach. It's like related directly to what he said from Avraham Avinu. Shalif Amim Ha'adam Etzel HaPetach V'hu Shav La'achor. That there are times when a person is at the entrance of the tent. He's at the entrance. You're about to get in. V'hu Shav La'achor. Last minute, okay, backs off. It's like someone planning a wedding or planning a trip, and right before the wedding, right before the trip, okay, we're calling it off. A person is right at the entrance. You're about to get in, you idiot. You're about to get in, and he goes back because he's just too scared. He chickens out on the last minute. Or, that's one scenario. Or shemishtateach umitpashet az kenegdo habal davar v'chule. Or the evil side, seeing that he's about to win. He's about to kill his Yetzer Hara. So the Yetzer Hara starts giving his final punch, and the Yetzer Hara starts spreading himself far and wide against the person, attacking him in any way possible, etc. And the person, he's overwhelmed and he backs off. Aval, mi shechoshev al tachlito hanitzchi be'emet. However, someone who thinks about his ultimate purpose in life, in truth, v'chas al chayav be'emet, and he takes pity on his life. He sincerely takes pity on his life. What, I'm going to waste my life for nothing? I'm going to waste my life for just hamburgers and hamburgers. Well, I'm just saying it as an example. Person said, I'm going to waste my life on this stupid ta'avot. Until when? Until when, Hashem? Until when am I going to just... A person finally buckles his belt and he takes pity on himself. Even in such scenarios, even after being so smashed by the Yetzer Hara, even after chickening out, Eino shav la'achor, he doesn't go back. He stays there. And the person doesn't budge from his place, God forbid, no matter what. No matter what, the Yetzer Hara makes him fall. You see, the falling and leaving the place are two separate things. You can fall in life. You can fall from where you're trying to be, and they keep on trying to knock you down. But you just get back up and you're standing there. It's up to you to choose to give up from where you are holding in life or not. To give up on your Yiddishkeit or not. It's up to you. The Yetzer Hara smashes you to bring you down in order to break your morale. He can't. Reb Noson says this in one place. The Yetzer Hara can't force you to give up. What he can do is what's called in Chazal a grama. A grama means he can do things on the side to convince you to give up. But he can't get you to give up. That's the one thing that the Yetzirah has no access to. The only thing he has no access to is your ratzon. If your ratzon, your will, is to stay strong, he can't touch you. What he can do is he can make things around you go wrong, go upside down, and test you, make you sin even. Yetzirah can, yes, make you fall into temptation. He can make it so bad that you feel there's no other option. In order for you to be convinced, then there must be no hope for me. Because he can't get you to give up, because that's connected. This is another deep thing. Oh my God, how if we can go into this. You see, there's a midrash that says that we got 2 crowns at Har Sinai. We got the crown of Naaseh and the crown of Nishma. Okay, this one, I probably have to finish with this and start with this next week also, because this is so deep. Naaseh and Nishma is the crown of we will do and we will listen. Okay? When the Jews said we will do and we will listen, they got 2 crowns. When they sinned in the golden calf, so the Gemara says that 1,200,000 angels came to take off the crowns from the 600,000 men. There were 600,000 crowns. There were 600,000 men. Each one got 2 crowns. So that's 1,200,000 crowns. When they sinned, so then the double amount of angels had to come to remove the 2 crowns. That's what the Gemara says. The Midrash doesn't say that. The Midrash says that they only lost 1 crown. Not like the Gemara. They lost only 600,000 crowns, the crown of Naaseh. But the crown of Nishma, they never lost. So Reb Noson explains, Naaseh b'Nishma translates also, Naaseh is what you can do, your accomplishments in life. And Nishma is connected to your desire to listen. My desire to listen for more, to understand the desire. So the crown of Nishma, as soon as they landed, Reb Noson explains, on the head of every Jew, the light was so connected to the inner desire of the Jew, because the essence of a Yid is his Ratzon. What's the Pintel Yid is the inner spark of every Jew is his desire. Like it says in Shir Shirim, Nichsefa vegam kalta nafshi. It's a pasuk in Song of Songs. The translation is Nichsefa vegam kalta nafshi. My soul is yearning and pining for you, Hashem. So Reb Nachman translates it like this. Nichsefa begam kalta dash, the yearning and pining, nafshi, that's my soul. The soul of a Jew is his yearning. So when the crown of Nishma landed on the head of every Jew, because it's connected to the inner essence of every Jew, the light went right into the inside. So that when, like the Gemara says, the angels took off 2 crowns, they only lost the external crown of Nishma, but the crown of Naaseh they lost. So what does that mean? Reb Noson says, because we lost the crown of Naaseh, the Yetzirah has permission to mess up our life in action. He can make it that this doesn't work out. That's because I lost the crown of Naaseh. But Nishma he can't touch because I never lost it. So what does the Yetzirah try to do? He tries to make things around upside down so that you sign you sign that you give up. Okay, I give up. Okay, I sign. You win. Because he makes it unbearable. But Yetzirah can't touch your ratzon. He can't touch your inner desire. I think we have to stop here because this itself is such a whole lengthy thing. But the bottom line so far at this point comes out that you have to be stubborn, not to budge from the entrance of the tent. And at the end, they open the doors for you like they opened for Avraham Avinu. B'ezrat Hashem. May everyone have an easy fast, and may the refrainment of simcha, which boosts up the ratzon, the desire, because of the refrainment of losing out on simcha. They should boost the yearning, which is expressed in the keynote of Tisha B'Av and in Eicha, and this yearning should just explode after Tisha B'Av and bring us the simcha to end this stupid war and the war in Ukraine also, so we can go to Uman, Rosh Hashanah, a crazy thing, and Mashiach should come, and Yerushalayim should go all the way up to Uman. I don't know if you know, but in geography, I think what's this called? Latitude or longitude? The one that's from this way. I think it's latitude. Longitude, I think, is like this. Latitude. Anybody know latitude? Is this latitude? I think this is latitude. Okay? Latitude of Yerushalayim is 32. 32 degrees, Lev. And the latitude of Uman is 48, Moach. Okay? The heart and the mind. And the Rashi says that when Mashiach comes, Yerushalayim will reach all the way up to Damascus, Damascus can also mean Damascus is doleu mashke mitot rabba. I won't go into this too much, but as a hint that will go up to 48. Bezat Hashem. All right, thank you for joining, and only good. Bezat Hashem.
Thank you.